Let's start with the Tar Heels, sir. This has been a growing concern here. R.J. Davis is quoted as saying after the Louisville game that their problem is focus. I don't see their problem as being focus. I think their problem is the roster. What have you seen from the Tar Heels, especially of late?
Yeah, it is their roster. I think they're trying to play hard, and I actually think the young pieces, Drake and Ian, are going to be really, really good players. I don't know how long they're going to be there, with the new world of college basketball.
Right.
But, look, R.J. Davis has moved to the top of the scouting report. He's the focal point of everyone's scout. They top block him. They run off screens. They add a second defender. I did a videotape on that the other day. They don't play with any space. They don't impact you defensively. When you play little guards, this has been a philosophy of mine for sure. If you can play little guards, they got to be disruptive defensively. Defensively, they don't make you feel them. They just don't. Louisville had no problem getting into what they wanted to do, got the shots most times they wanted. I think the roster is flawed, and it's hard. I mean, they wanted Jalen Washington. I think they wanted to empower him and not recruit over the top of him. And quite honestly, he hasn't been productive enough. Van Allen Lubin is a nice piece, a complimentary piece, but he's not a guy that can play through. You lose Armando Bacot, whether he had some limitations, but you knew he was going to rebound the ball and he was going to be a guy that could at least get something around the basket on second chance opportunities. Look at the amount of points they score off transition, which is okay, but off turnovers and second chance opportunities, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
They're like 10th or 11th and 14th in those two areas in the ACC, which is having a down year, to be truthful about it. So look, the league has opportunities for wins. They have that UCLA win in their back pocket. They don't have a bad loss. Can they get it together? Yeah, but to get it together, they got to get Trimble back, and I think they actually, and this sounds crazy, but probably play Powell, Trimble, Jackson, Davis, and one of those other bigs. As Elikudo's a nice player, and he puts up some numbers in terms of assists, but people don't guard him, and it kills the spacing for R.J. Davis. It makes it even harder for Ian Jackson, who's a little bit bigger. So, I'm not in practice every day, but their roster is flawed.
Yeah, what they have is if they had two good front court players, what they would have would be great depth on the wing. But right now, if they play their best five players, Drake Powell at 6'6" is the center. Because their best five players are Powell and Jackson and Trimble. And I think you're right about Cadeau. I don't even, how do you get a guy who was, I thought, a very effective player last year without a jump shot, but is excitable and you can kind of get off of his game and he shows his frustrations. How do you get that guy to calm down?
Yeah, his decision making is bad. He tries to hit home runs instead of hitting singles. Really is what it comes down to. He makes some terrific passes. He's got really good vision at times, but he's a pretty good finisher around the rim. He can't shoot it up the dribble is my concern. He can catch and shoot it, but now he's back in his head a little bit. And that one he shot yesterday was wide right, or the other day was it was way off.
Right.
He's a nice player, but again, if he's a little guard, then he's got to get up into people and be disruptive and push people out. If you're going to play small, all right, you've got to pressure the basketball and push the ball out, so that buys time for smaller guys to get around and use their quickness against bigs. And I do think that that Al Lubin and Weathers have a little bit of upside. I just to me, and again, this is me. I'm not in practice every day. To me, it would be very frustrating to coach, and I'm sure he's a great kid. He seems like just a terrific kid. But Jalen Washington, there's no fight in him. You want to see, him show some emotion, some fight. Attack and try to block a shot, stick his nose in and get a traffic rebound. he had the great putback against UCLA, which was great. I actually said, damn, maybe the light bulb went on, and now he realizes if I get in there and I stick my nose in there, I can make winning plays, but I don't see it thus far.
Seth Greenberg is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show at Seth on Hoops, ESPN college basketball analyst, multiple ACC Coach of the Year. By the way, I thought of you the other day. I don't know why they showed it. I guess it was because Duke was about to play Virginia Tech, and they showed the clock right before the inbound to Sean Dockery, and I thought of you.
Yeah, because they put too much time back on the clock. and Jamon Gordon had to take himself out because he cramped up as they were looking for him, which killed me. So Jamon Gordon would have caught that pass in the air before it got to Dockery. We made a substitution then, and unfortunately, we told the guy, anyone going into the backcourt, you're going to let him go further in the backcourt. But if the ball's in the air, play the ball in the air. But everyone's afraid to foul. Jamon would have said, "Screw fouling. I'm just going to go get the ball." But
Jamon Gordon was a player.
All I know is the low point in the recent history of Coach K's Duke career was they stormed the court after that shot. You know that.
That's how much respect they had for you.
Yeah, they stormed the court. Low point of the Duke basketball history.
I would look at it the other way. That's how much respect they had for your program and your basketball team. No,
I appreciate that. And next year we went in there and won. And then my last game there we should have won, and we had a phantom travel call.
No way, a phantom call that went against the visiting team.
Not that I'm still bitter.
Seth Greenberg is joining us here. All right, let me. I'll transition to state this way because you said that as long as they don't have a bad loss. I mean, we all know the numbers. I mean, I'd be the first person to tell everybody that the ACC is better than people think. I don't think it is. I thought it was better than people thought last year, and I thought the numbers didn't do it justice. I don't think the league is all that good this year. I think Duke is amazing, and Duke's going to – if Duke loses a game to not Clemson or Pitt at any point this year in league play, I think they completely slept through the game. They are that much better, I think, than the rest of the teams, and they're probably that much better than Clemson and Pitt, if we're being honest.
I don't know. Clemson and Pitt are good. If Pitt gets Damian Dunn back, they're a very dangerous team because they got an experienced backcourt and they got good enough size with Zach Austin. Clemson as well. They got to get something out of Chauncey Wiggins, but Clemson has a hard outer shell. They're hard to play against. They're not going to turn it over. They got mature guards. They've got a team of guys like the veteran guys that John's bringing off the bench. You know, they got a team of Mason Gillis's and Sion James's and and Malik Brown's and a very, very good guard, obviously, and very, very, very good guard in Chase Hunter and an elite rebounder in Shefflin.
But my larger point is that more than half of the league, if you're on the road, probably not a good loss. More than half of the league that way.
No, it kills you. No. Let me. This is real simple. If you think about it, so the other day, Louisville beat North Carolina at home.
Quad 1.
All right. No, it's quad 2 win.
Yeah, it's quad 2. It was right. It's quad 2 win for Louisville. It would have been a quad 1 for UNC.
It would have been a quad 1. I think Louisville's resume with the Carolina, Indiana, and West Virginia, as long as they don't have bad losses, they're going to be in the conversation. I think SMU is sneakily going to be in the conversation. Their net is about 30 something right now.
Yeah.
I think Clemson is in good shape. I think Pitt's in good shape, and I think that Duke's in good shape. Carolina does have the UCLA win, but
and Dayton.
You get tripped up at BC and then get tripped up somewhere else, and then you start to have issues. But the season is just so long, and guys got just Notre Dame's playing without Marcus Burton, so when he comes back, they're going to be better. Syracuse is playing without J.J. Sterling. When he comes back, they're going to be better. So you go down the league, and you've got guys that are out. J.J. McCollum's back at Georgia Tech. He helps take pressure off of Nathan George and makes the game easier for Baydongo. If you start going through the league, you say, well, some teams can get better. And does Mike James ever play for NC State?
Yeah.
If Mike James is on NC State, NC State is a totally different team. It's a totally different team. They got a 6'6" wing guy that can score and make a shot and rebound and is experienced. They don't have that. They don't have that. So, I mean, like a guy that they were counting on has yet to put on a uniform, and that makes it really hard.
No, injuries are a reality of all sports, especially college basketball if it's a key player.
Yeah, it cost me my job. I mean, I lose Alan Chaney and J.T. Thompson and Dorenzo Hudson 1 year. And, I mean, if you go down the injuries that we had, I mean, if I had Alan Chaney, we were probably a Sweet 16 team the year we won like 23 and didn't get in.
You guys were good,
we
though.
did. We were good.
I loved your program. You have a great atmosphere also at the Castle. Let me ask you about the Wolfpack real quick before I transition to a bigger picture story, because I think people kind of coming off of last year, it's easy to get really excited about. We've got Michael O'Connell back. You got Middlebrooks. You have some transfers coming in. There are some guys who were in the program that will be in elevated roles, but that really goes for O'Connell too. And for most of the season last year, O'Connell was role player, and maybe that's what he is. And NC State has not looked good at all. I understand the injury to Mike James, but they really haven't looked good at all against good competition so far this season. What are your thoughts on the Wolfpack?
Yeah, I think that not having Mike James is a real issue. It's a key piece you counted on. They probably expected him to be their leading scorer, to be honest with you. Who has size, length, experience, toughness, maturity. Michael O'Connell, the role he was in at the end of the season was his role. They put the ball in his hands, and he got the ball where it needed to go. And he made the big shot, but just because he made the big shot, that wasn't his role. His role was to defend, distribute, and lead. And he's still trying to do those things. Jaden Taylor struggled shooting the basketball. The kid they got from Bowling Green is not can score Hill, but he's not a very good shooter. They don't shoot the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to play some of these freshmen, but some of the freshmen aren't ready to help. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield has been okay. He's obviously not the big fella.
Right.
DJ, he's just not, but he's a good player. And Ben is Ben, but Ben was a complimentary player who came in like to throw knuckleballs. After DJ, was, actually maybe throw fastballs after DJ was junking him up with the knuckleballs. So, look, I'm a huge Kevin Keats fan. I just think the guy can really coach. I think he's great for the players. He's great for the community. He's, it's hard when you're struggling though, especially coming off the magical season they had last year.
I think we forget. People forget that it was a magical run. If O'Connell doesn't hit the shot in the quarterfinals against Virginia to force overtime, they go to the NIT.
Yeah, I mean, if Virginia fouls with a foul again, he doesn't even get the 3 up.
Were you a foul guy? Were you a foul up 3 late?
If that was, depending on my team, see, it all depends on if you think you're a good free throw rebounding team. But that one, they had a foul to give.
Oh, okay.
So they had a foul to give. Now, if that was anyone else, they would have got killed for not giving that foul. I mean, they had a foul to give. But Tony, is Tony. He can get away with that because he's got a national championship, a couple Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year awards. But I think I'm interested to see if Mike James comes back. I think that's going to be the key. Then it's like I can't evaluate Syracuse until JJ comes back. Okay. I can't evaluate Notre Dame until Burton comes back, and I can't evaluate NC State until James comes back.
All right, final thing for you, Seth Greenberg. I appreciate your time as always. Jim Laranaga's reasoning for retiring, I guess, quitting. It's really bad timing for all of it, especially the reasons given based on players opting out of a Final Four team, which is 18 months ago. What are your thoughts on what he had to say and the timing of everything?
Yeah, look, I think he's relieved. I think there's a couple. I think losing is debilitating. I think it just beat him down. At 75, he's done everything he could do. He wasn't connecting with his team as much as they say they loved him. He wasn't connecting with them. He had some guys on his team that were more selfish as opposed to selfless. I think that took the joy of coaching. Bill Corton, who's the acting head coach, was my former assistant. He calls Jim Yoda. He has the ability to, but he lost it. I mean, and then you lose his faith. I mean, he lost the connection, and look, they won a lot of games in the transfer portal. The money they paid Nigel Pack kind of set the bar. I mean, Nigel Pack 3 years ago, 2-year, $800,000 car, apartment on Brickell and a car. I mean, that was kind of started this whole thing rolling. And John Ruiz in the life wallet, which since John Ruiz is, I guess, gone bankrupt. But so, I mean, does he deserve to? I was a little surprised. Yeah, the coaches said, I don't think it has to do with age. Like, here's the deal. NIL and portal, if you're coaching today, part of your job is to raise money. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Don't complain about it. It's just part of your job. So that's first and foremost. And you know what? The portal's the portal. Until it changes, that's what it is. Coach your team. Focus on your team. It's a one-year team. And so, look, I have a lot of respect for Jim. I think the bigger story of college basketball is the whole thing at Florida State. And I keep on telling people, I have a solution to the problem. We need 2-year contracts. We need incentives to bring academics back into college athletics, which is basically academic progress, retention, graduation, community service. Then incentives for team achievements, so that you get people that are actually caring about the team, and then some individual achievements. But you're seeing everyone talks about the portal, but how many of these guys in the portal really impact winning? Like Kansas State spent a lot of money in the portal, right? They're not winning. Kansas spent a lot of money in the portal. They're not winning, not the way they used to winning. So, the portal's great. Roster construction's more important.
Yeah.
How you put together your roster so that you get guys that are about winning and embracing roles and being great teammates. And if you don't get that, you know what? Your locker room ends up really bad, and winning is really hard.
Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst at Seth on Hoops. I'm sorry that we won the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
Yeah. We put together a pretty good. Right now, so far, we've done all right.
Your consolation prizes have been good.
Yeah, we're a little old and long in the tooth. But hey, let's face it, it's real simple. When we get to the playoffs, judges got to put the bat on the ball. Pitching's improved. It's always better when the bat meets the ball.
Seth, you're the best. I appreciate your time. Happy New Year.
All right, brother. You got it, pal. Thank you.
Take care.